Assalamu alaikum. Hi, Oracle Reiki spiritual healer. And it has been a very important mission for me in order to come to you and to be able to help you and guide you through the holy books, through a cleansing process, getting closer to God, and making sure that our children and our people that are around us are closer to God in the same way. We have to surround ourselves with those godly men and women. So let's start talking about how we have been breaking these spells in our lives. And, I really thank all of you for letting me come into your households, for letting me help you with your projects, for letting me be a part of your lives to heal these types of attacks that have been on your lives. So I thank you for all of your support. So what we are understanding is when we are suppressed in life and we can tell that something is wrong, we can't quite put our finger on it. And, you have been seeing patterns, but we can't quite put our finger on what's going on. Then you have to be able to say, I know something is wrong. Let me go and talk to someone that is spiritual. Let me go and talk to someone that is in this realm that I'm not so sure about. And so this is what's been happening for our older people, our young people, our men and our women. Because surely we do not want these attacks, these spells to turn into generational curses. We have started to correct the patterns of the past, those cycles of the past. We have started to cleanse and fight against those types of negative energy. And so now we understand that we have to fight against these negative energies. We have to read the holy books against these negative entities in order to identify them, in order to stop the spell from moving forward in our lives. We have to turn off those things in our lives who are trying to control us inadvertently: the music, the TV, the internet, video games, all of those things. And even parents and friends that we are around that are trying to influence us and inadvertently control us, and they want us to give our will over into them. When we see these types of frequencies, I've had some of my friends or supposed to be friends, they're calling me. I'm on a mission for God. I'm building up, saving up my money to come on this mission for God. I'm listening to God. I'm moving away from them. They'll call me on the phone every now and again and say, oh, we haven't seen you in about 2 or 3 years. And I have to tell them that first of all, I've outgrown you. I've outgrown, that spot in my life where I were with you. I've outgrown it. And the most important thing is the person that was calling me was a person that, was a user in my life, that did not have the best intentions, that would, that would borrow money and never pay back. Okay. People who wanted to be users, those are the ones that the narcissist will use to try to bring you back under control. To pretend. They want you to pretend so that they can reattach these spells in your life, so that they can send this black magic to you. Your parents will pretend that, they have your best interest for you. But intentionally, they are trying to siphon your destiny and, destiny swap with other people, other siblings in your life. They're trying to siphon your beauty. They're trying to siphon your strength. And a lot of men, like I say, a lot of men do not understand, when you're dealing with the alpha male, then they are, whether it is your father or your uncle or somebody that is on the block, they are siphoning your energy because, you're submitting to their will. And when you submit to something that is wrong, and this is what I have been telling you, this is the manipulation that you have to be able to tell the truth, call out. You have to be able to break this type of black magic over your life, where you are trying to measure up to another man, where you want the validation from your fathers, your uncles, your grandfathers, or whoever it is. You want that validation to the point that you will do something wrong, to the point that you will harm somebody and you will not call out evil in your life. So that turns into a spell. That turns into manipulation. That person will manipulate you. And so we're having this problem in society, and again, with a lot of males. Because, again, as soon as women see that you're not down for me like that, you're not the person who you say you are, well, let me go ahead and make my way, whether it is male or female that is pretending or acting in bad light or character. So we have the ability to see certain things that, some of our males do not see in their lives. And so this type of black magic has been allowed to flourish. And in order to break this type of black magic that they have sent to you, this type of spell that they have sent to your life, you have to be able to tell the truth. You have to be able to pray against it in order to see the reaction of the person when you step into holy spaces, when you put your mind into holy spaces, when the word of God is written upon your heart and mind. And a lot of men have to be able to do that because their nature, is to be in submission to God, is to be, one of the first creations is to be in submission to God. And you can't have your mind all over the place about who doesn't like me, what kind of money I lost, I don't have a job, I don't measure up to this person, I don't have the clothes that they have, you can't be all over the place. You have to be comfortable in your own skin. And that goes for men or women. We have to teach our children to be comfortable. And like I say, when I had become very comfortable in my own skin a long time ago, but by the same token, when you are around narcissists, then you have to tread lightly, because like I say, they will do malevolent things. They will, become violent. They will become abusive. So, I've had many times males and females in my life that have become abusive because, they could not embody the knowledge that God had given me, and they wanted to take it. So this is a lot of why I left a lot of relationships, and God was able to move me out. He was able to show me these people, through cleansing, through prayer, through, meditation, so that we are not grieved, because we have to move away from these negative people. We have to expose these negative people in our lives. So these are some of the ways that we are able to cleanse and use some of the healing methods that I have used, on this channel for you. We want to be able to use the hyssop. The hyssop, is good for the grief that you will go through, the sadness, and the separation that you will go through, to cleanse the negative energy from your life, from the sins of your life. No one is perfect. No one is perfect. And a lot of times we will do things thinking that we're following behind someone, that they have the best interest for us. And then we'll find out that, they've been sending negative energy. They've been sending the evil eye. They've been sending, this black magic and the black matter to our lives all the time. And like I say, I've had several people that I have been around that I have had to, break this frequency. I've had to stop the energy. I've had to call my power back from these types of people through prayer, through fasting, through prostration, and people did not understand why I just, stop coming around them, because they will never, these types of narcissists that are in your life, they will never stop sending these types of negative energy. Once they have become obsessed with your energy, once they have tried to insert someone into your life so that they can monitor you, once it has not worked for them and that negative energy keeps backfiring on them, because you're constantly cleansing your heart, you're constantly cleansing your mind, you're not letting that type of negative energy, that stagnation that they want for you, settle in your life. You're constantly cleansing it. And so therefore you have to be able to identify these persons, what they wanted for you, what they were trying to do in your life. And it backfires on them in a way that, they are in loss. They are in grief. They are in misery, and that's what we want to do. We want to cleanse the hearts of the chosen ones and return that negative energy, that sorrow, that grief, those spells that they have sent out in our life to create chaos, disaster in our lives. We want to be relieved of that stress. And so we're going to read Psalms 51. Again, that's my favorite Psalms in the Bible. And we're going to read Surah Al-Anbiya, 88 through 89. So that we can cleanse this negative energy. You can also use vanilla. You're going to use vanilla and a candle. You can reach out to me for what kind of candle you want to use, what color candle you want to use, depending on what you're cleansing. And you can also use the vanilla in your incense, So we're going to cleanse this negative energy, and we're going to use the calming incense, the cleansing incense, in order to cleanse this negative energy in our life from these types of spells and attacks to cause us grief, to cause us harm, to cause stress and anxiety in our lives. We want to make sure that we are praying, make sure that our connection to God is intact. And you also want to, have a cleansing ritual at night. You want to drink the tea if you're having stress at night from these types of attacks, from the black magic, in your life, from those people who have been inserted in your life, those people trying to call you, so that you can be like them. And we're praying that God separates us from these negative people, and we can see the negative people, we can identify them in our lives by cleansing these types of, energies, these spells that have been sent upon us, sent out to us over time. So you want to use the chamomile tea if you're having sleep problems with stress at night. So use the chamomile, or you can use the tiger tea. So I hope you received this message. Please like, share, and subscribe to me over all of my platforms. You can book your one-on-one sessions with me, your life coaching sessions, or your video chat sessions. If you're experiencing attacks or grief or loss, you can also reach out to me with a one-on-one consultation, donate to my channels, or you can leave a comment for me. I'm High Oracle, Reiki Spiritual Healer. Assalamu alaikum.